Tonight on Ctv3 News, Millie pleads for help in search for missing 20-year-old Joshua Hall last seen after police visit. 22-year-old charged with arson after 3 vehicles are destroyed in the old capital. And the 2024-2025 crop season kicks off amidst numerous challenges. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, December 27th, 2024.
As we gather this Christmas season, wrapped in the wealth of community spirit and shared celebrations, we find ourselves on the cusp of a truly magical season. I stand before you, representing the Orange Town Council, to extend a heartfelt wishes for a wonderful holiday filled with light, laughter, and joy.
As the day grows shorter and we welcome the gentle chill of December, our thoughts turn to the moment that unite us, the laughter shared with loved ones, the warmth of cherished tradition, and the twinkling lights illuminating our town and homes. It is during these times that we come to understand the true essence of Christmas, a time for reflection, reconnection, and rejuvenation.
From the bottom of our hearts, your Orange Rock Town Council wishes you and your loved ones a joyous season brimming with love, abundant happiness, and the promise of prosperity. May you embrace the vibrant spirit of this festive occasion, creating memories that will be fondly remembered for years to come. Deseándoles todos en este año nuevo mucho amor, salud y bendiciones.
As we treasure what is meaningful and significant in our lives, let us ensure that it includes moments cherished with our loved ones, moments that bring laughter and a sense of belonging. We hope that the unfolding days of this Christmas reveal all that is beautiful. In the twinkling eyes of children, in the comforting embrace of families and friends, and in the peaceful moments of solitude, to taste the sweetness of life's simplest pleasures.
As we look ahead, let us amplify our aspiration. May the grace of Christmas fill every corner of your home, lightening with hope of a new year, where all that brings you joy can take root and bloom. We at the Orange Town Council believe that happiness is not just the goal, but a journey pursued through kindness and generosity, compassion and community. Merry Christmas, one and all.
This celebration isn't merely a pause. It's an invitation to foster connections, weave creativity into our lives, and nurture the collective heartbeat of our beloved community, Orange Town. Together, let us make our town glow a little brighter with acts of goodwill, inclusivity, love, and qualities that define who we are as a people.
So, from everyone at the Orange Town Council, we toast to you. May your holidays be filled with laughter, joy, and cherished moments that bring hope and warmth to your heart. Let this Christmas not only be a celebration, but also a reminder of the strength we share as a community. May the season inspire us to look forward with optimism and gratitude, knowing brighter days are ahead. Here's to a season of unity, a fresh start for the new year, and endless possibilities. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Feliz Navidad y un próspero año nuevo.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. A desperate search is underway for 20-year-old Joshua Hall, who has been missing for 5 days. The young man was last seen on November 27th after signing in at the Corozal police station to fulfill his bail conditions. He was charged with burglary and released on bail on November 25th. According to Hall's family, he left his home around 8:30 a.m. to head to the police station, but has not been seen or heard from since 8:58 a.m. With all possible means of locating him exhausted, a $2,000 reward has been posted for any information that can lead to Halsey's whereabouts. His family is fearing the worst and is pleading with the public to come forward with any information.
So that said Monday morning when he told his mom he was going signing, he told his mom that when daddy come home, please ask him to be here to help me because right at my home here we're preparing a place for him. He just got out of jail. He don't have a job. His girlfriend is pregnant. Almost time to have child, give birth.
Halsey's girlfriend is also expecting their child, and the family is anxious to find out what happened to the young man. His Christmas gift remains unopened under the Christmas tree.
Man, he usually message his girlfriend. He had a fellow friend that he was going to do a job with that morning, but he was going to drop all of that to come back and finish the room. So we were certain he was going to come back home. It's suddenly that something else came up and me and my wife had to go over to the hospital, so we weren't home for the morning time. Okay. So we weren't aware that he didn't come back home because we wasn't home. It's like an emergency. We went over to it. It took a while over at the clinic, so I leave my wife there and I came home walking from the hospital. I leave her with the transportation so she can deal with her mother when she's finished, because it was her mother we took there. And then when I asked my wife when she came home around minutes after 2, I'd say about 2:30, I asked she if she had heard from Joshua, if Joshua came back from the signing.
The Corozal police have been approached by Halsey's family, but so far they have not been able to provide any assistance in finding him. With the clock ticking, the family is hoping for the best, yet fearing the worst.
So I asked to spoke to the CO, the commanding officer running the station. And the officer assisted me, and the officer did the call from his personal phone and call up his boss and tell him someone is there. The gentleman replied and he said, yes, I will be there in 10 minutes, which he did, Mr. Carcamo. I went in the office and I explained to Mr. Carcamo what is going on. And all I'm asking for is to assure me that my son did leave the station or not, because I need to know Joshua whereabouts.
If you have any information on Joshua Halsey's whereabouts, you can contact his family at 632-5603, 656-0635, 663-5094, or 610-6094. A 22-year-old construction worker has been formally charged with 3 counts of arson after a trio of vehicles was set on fire in Belize City over the weekend. Manuel Anthony Morales, a resident of the Belize district, was arrested and charged by police on Tuesday in connection with the incident. The vehicles, reportedly owned by prominent businessman Bob Hochandani and his son, were destroyed in the early hours of Sunday morning. Authorities say the fires, which occurred in the same area, were deliberately set. Following an investigation, Morales was identified as the primary suspect. Police have not disclosed a motive for the alleged arson. The fires are believed to have been started around 2 a.m. on Sunday. Surveillance footage and witness reports have been critical in piecing together the events leading to Morales' arrest, according to investigators. Morales is expected to appear in court later this week as the case proceeds. The total value of the vehicles is almost $500,000, with 2 fully insured and 1 with third-party insurance. Since the incident, a reward of $5,000 is being offered for information leading to the capture of the remaining suspects. A Salvadoran national residing in Belize must wait for laboratory test results before receiving his sentence in a drunk driving case, despite his willingness to plead guilty to the charge. Jose Rene Umunzor Guevara appeared before the traffic court this week to face charges of driving with alcohol concentration above the prescribed limit. The incident occurred on Sunday, December 15, 2024, when Guevara was found operating a silver Saturn vehicle on Central American Boulevard. Although Guevara immediately attempted to plead guilty, noting his diabetic condition and insulin use, the sitting magistrate of court number 4 explained she could not accept his plea without the laboratory certificate. The court needs to verify that his blood alcohol level was between 107 millimeters of alcohol per 100 milligrams of liters, as required by law. Guevara was granted bail of $1,000 with one surety of the same amount which he posted. As a condition of his bail, he must report to the Mahogany Sub-Police Station every Friday, beginning December 28, 2024, until his case concludes. His next court appearance is scheduled for February 26, 2025. Dancreca police formally arrested and charged 48-year-old Joseph Cifiriano Avila of Lourdes Bank Village for the offense of failed to provide specimen and drove without due care and attention. Avila was driving a BDF truck which flipped on the Southern Highway on Christmas Eve. Only one passenger was on board. Police who responded reported detecting a strong scent of alcohol on his breath. Avila refused to give a sample. The 2024-2025 crop season officially kicked off this morning at 10 a.m. as the gates of the Belize Sugar Industry BSI opened, welcoming sugarcane farmers to make their first deliveries. Despite challenges such as heavy rainfall and the spread of fusarium disease, which has affected much of the northern cane crop, stakeholders remain optimistic, so much so that the start of the crop was marred with the symbolic cane toss. Norma Ruiz reports.
At exactly 10 a.m., the traditional siren inside the BSI mill marked the official start of the 2024-2025 sugarcane crop season. This year's crop opening, however, lacked its usual celebratory feel as the industry is once more facing serious uncertainty in the months ahead. This time, not due to stalled negotiations or even road blockages. This year, the sugar industry is facing more serious threats which are more unpredictable, including weather conditions, the ongoing fusarium disease, and even impassable sugar roads. Despite the gloomy outlook for the months ahead, industry stakeholders came together as one optimistic body this morning to kickstart the new season. And as tradition dictates, the official cane toss by all sugar industry stakeholders, including the millers and for the first time in a few years, all 4 association leaders, marked the official start of the season.
Symbolically, it's a good day in that we have an agreement with all our associations, which paves the way for the crop. That's really the most important thing you need to have a successful crop. If you have an agreement with all your associations for the cane, that makes planning the crop much easier. I think we certainly know what are the challenges this year. We've heard from farmers and their leaders that sugar roads are in a bad state, and that's making it difficult to get the cane in, so we're expecting that today might be a very slow day in that respect. We know as well about the disease fusarium, which will result in lower quality cane. So what we need to ensure from the mill standpoint is that the mill has been maintained properly so that we can deal with this cane. From our standpoint, we've done that. We've put in about 40 million Belize dollars just in out-of-crop replacement of maintenance equipment and general maintenance to get the crop and the mill ready for today. In the background, you can see that both boilers are online. In previous years, when we were doing the major capital projects, we have started with only one. This year, we have both turbines ready. We have both boilers ready. We have both turbines ready. So from our standpoint, we're ready. It's a matter of trying to manage the cane that is going to come in, the quality, and try to maximize the sucrose content inside that cane as best as we can. So we need to work with all the harvesting group leaders and farmers to make sure that they bring the freshest cane possible so that we can maximize the sucrose in the cane.
Today's start was clearly a slow one with only about 50 trucks ready to deliver their cane. Overall, the millers say they expect the production to see a 30% reduction this year, due mainly to diseases affecting crops as well as bad weather conditions.
Anticipate a really tough year, this 2024-2025 crop season. The cane has been affected severely by fusarium, mostly in the northern area, the Corozal area, and also by stem borer, frog hopper. So it's a combination of three different, one a disease and two other insects or pests. And the cane, we had anticipated that the farmers would have done some of the transformational activities in the field now that the cane price is higher. Things like fertilizing well and maintaining weeds. However, that hasn't necessarily transpired. So we do expect a drop in production this year. The SEPC has indicated about 1 million tons of cane this year. We believe it's going to be less than that. Looking at the areas that we've scouted and the cane health. So that is very worrisome for a factory that of course has fixed assets. We are at 1.25 million tons capacity. And so when we have lower cane than that, it becomes very expensive for this mill to run. This year we are starting 12 days later than we had anticipated, and that is also a critical issue because at the end we have conjecture over 3 days, extending three days, and it becomes very difficult to then continue milling in more severe weather conditions. So the cane supply we expect this year is higher fiber, lower sugar content, and lower productivity.
And if they are to survive the trying times ahead, the association leaders agree that the industry must come together, even for a symbolic start of the season.
Well, as you know, it's very important for us as leaders of the cane farmers to see what will be taking place for the start of crop, and also to inform our farmers on how things are evolving, and also listening from our farmers what is the hurdles that they are coming through for them to transport their material to the mill. So it is very important for us to participate in the beginning of crop because it's always something that we ask God for blessings and guidance and protection to our drivers, our cutters, and cane farmers at large, and also the workers at the mill, because if we work in unity and we work in a good standing, well then every one of us will gain out of the labor we do. So,
well, this symbolic opening is very important. Where it shows unity. The four association, we came here today and do what is best for our cane farmers, right? To the start of a crop. It's a very challenging crop coming ahead. Reasons, weather, roads, the fusarium, as you all know, and other pests that have been affecting the industry. But I think that at this point in time, there is one major reason why today it looks a little bit sad, I can say, at the beginning of a crop, where you don't see many trucks as we normally do, right? And that is contributed mostly to the roads, The pest, well, that has done its damage, but now it's time to deliver, And we wanted to have an early start, but unfortunately, the authorities did not prioritize on that,
And while the first day of the new crop season was expected to be slow, BSI-ASR says it expects the cane delivery to increase as the days progress, slowly to a grinding rate of between 6,000 to 7,000 tons of cane in the coming days.
The cane quality is on the lower end at the start of the crop, but really it's worse at the end. So you're still better off making an early start. Yes, you will have some challenges with mud, but as the weeks go by, because December, the rainfall diminishes significantly, you see an improvement both in cane quality and reduced mud. That helps the factory to better cope and extract more sucrose. versus when you reach in June, the cane quality starts seeing a significant fall, and then you start seeing more rainfall, which brings increased mud. The mill has gone through 5-6 months of operations, so the equipment has already started to take a beating. So we're less equipped to handle poor quality cane at the end versus the beginning. And that's why we've been pushing for years now that we need to get the crop back in cycle to start early so that we avoid the significant fall in quality that occurs at the end.
1 year.
We're currently doing some phone calls to the different leaders and groups to find out how much cane they have ready. We're still getting some numbers. We're trying to at least get a quantity of around 1,500 assured before we start putting on our cane shredder and our cane knives, because that really then requires a lot of power to start receiving the cane. So we need to be assured a certain quantity before we can get that. I would expect maybe by late this afternoon, we will probably have an indication of sufficient quantity. Then we will be able to make a start with the milling. But we're hopeful that by tomorrow, we start seeing a steadier level of cane coming in and start getting into full force.
For the 2024-2025 cane crop season, BSI ASR is expecting to maintain a factory grinding rate of 6,500 tons of cane per day. Reporting for Ctv3 News, Norma Ruiz.
Coming up next, understanding menopause and andropause and natural transition for both women and men. And the founder of Super Furia band passes. Stay tuned.
My friends, there's nothing that fills my heart with joy quite like Christmas. It is a time of love, a time of sharing, and a time for holding family and loved ones close. Watching our children and family members rush to see which gift under the Christmas tree belongs to them, and their excitement to unwrap each present is always a special and unique experience. This time of year is filled with celebration, laughter, and merrymaking. It is about holiday luncheons, parties, and social events that bring together people who may have grown distant due to life's challenges or competing priorities. But always remember the real reason for Christmas, when, as a world, we receive the most splendid blessings with the birth of the Christ child. And in that spirit of blessings, hold your loved ones close. Be good to each other. Lend a helping hand to those who are less fortunate. Put small and even large differences aside, because time is promised to no one. And always know that we are truly blessed as a nation and as a people. We are alive, united, and spending another Christmas together in this nation we all love. And so, from my family to yours, Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad.
A preliminary inquiry has been scheduled for February 19, 2025 in the case against Doris Grant, who faces allegations of stealing $121,000 in a high-profile theft case from May 2024. During today's court appearance before a senior magistrate in court number 2, Grant received 16 additional pages of disclosure, completing the evidence police will use to prosecute the theft charges against her. This follows an initial disclosure provided in August. The case has taken several turns since Grant's initial arraignment on May 20, 2024, when she faced 40 counts related to obtaining property by deception, money transfer fraud, and theft. While she initially secured bail of $50,000, her legal situation complicated in June when she and her common-law husband, Austin Oliver Underwood, were charged with gang membership. Police allege both are members of the Southside Gang, known for serious criminal activity. This charge came less than a week after Grant was shot and injured. The couple's legal journey has included multiple custody changes. After a period of remand, attorney Ronald Gonzalez successfully secured high court bail for both at $5,000 each. However, they were immediately remanded again under a state of emergency for 90 days. The couple was finally released in September after the emergency period expired, and they posted their high court bail. Grant, a resident of number 7188 Reggae Street, continues to face both the theft case and pending gang membership charges in lower court alongside Underwood, who works as a car dealer. As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, the 2025 sugarcane crop season came to an official start this morning at the Tower Hill factory. The start of the crop season was anticipated to begin on December 16th as the industry continues to fight the Fusarium infection in northern cane fields. The 2-week delay in the start of the crop came as a result of sugar roads which continue to remain in bad conditions due mainly to rains which affected the country earlier in December. The matter of sugar roads is an annual struggle for the industry, and today stakeholders are asking for more to be done to ensure that roads are maintained and avoid facing similar problems in coming years.
I think it's really a long-term failure that has been occurring with respect to sugar roads. Infrastructure is critical for any sector, any industry, especially ours, which requires transportation of the raw material to the mill. And so without the proper infrastructure, it's difficult for us to be able to make a good start. And we've seen that. We had proposed to start the crop on the 16th of December. Farmers, I said, look, I am willing to start, but I can't get to my fields. And so that has set us back 2 weeks. But the state of the roads is not one that just occurred this year or the year before. It's been successive years of inadequate maintenance and repairs to these sugar roads for a critical industry. It's still one of the largest agricultural industries in Belize. It's the highest contributor to GDP from the agricultural sector, bringing the highest level of foreign exchange. I think a long-term solution really needs to be put in place to address the matter of sugar roads, because now it's costing us money because it's delaying the start. If we have to push the crop into the rainy season, it will cost the industry through lower cane quality and less recovery of sugar. And so really we need a long-term solution for the matter of sugar roads so that we remove one obstacle that we have.
Stakeholders, we presented to the chairman of the Sugar Industry Control Board months ago, where we said it's easier to maintain a road rather than to wait until and fix it at the end of the last minute, right? So we have those in our minutes. I can recall those meetings, but not much attention was put to it. So I think that to start to fixing the road at this point in time, it will be more costly, and cane farmers will lose because every day that passes starting right now will be cane left outside.
Adding to the issue of sugar roads is the negative effects of climate change, which farmers say has been seriously affecting their productivity and ability to make a profitable return despite growing sugar prices in the last years.
Well, Jules, in one way, yes, we are seeing the realities now of climate change, as you rightly said. As we have said before, the problems we are seeing are many of them are caused by climate change. And yes, there's a situation because, as you know, everything has gone up. Fuel is up, labor is up. So the farmers are really very tight in regards to what they make in regards to the sugarcane they have. So it's not an easy issue. It's not very easy for the farmers to see well, we are getting a huge amount on the sugar cane we produce. Nevertheless, last year we got $90 per ton of cane, which has been the highest in history. But when we see all the payments that we have to do in regards to fuels, in regards to social security that has doubled from 5 years ago to now, what we have to pay for labor from $6 to $10 now per cutting. So it's a very huge amount that the farmers now have to pay to get that cane coming here to the mill. And well, but the farmers are determined. That is one thing we can say, and I think my brother here can say that our farmers are determined that no matter what, they're still into this cane farming thing. And if you can go around, you will see how many farmers had already plant cane for next crop, or some of them for seed and whatsoever. But the farmers are still making a huge effort so that they can comply everywhere. It's true we have some farmers that are not so good, but we have a lot of farmers that are there into the sugarcane with heart and with hard blood, working with their family.
The effects of the Fusarium infection on sugar plantations in the north is expected to play a major role in the reduction of sugar production this year. Based on data gathered by experts within the industry, it was concluded that 40% of the industry's total production was affected at different levels. This includes over 10,000 acres which were severely affected. The overall impact on production and the quality of cane delivered to the mill is expected to be seen very soon into the new crop season, according to Cane Farmer Relations Manager for BSI, Olivia Aviles.
Survey estimates about 40,000 acres has been affected. With some degree. The most severe areas are about 10,000 acres that are really severe in the way that we would want to recommend that those be replanted and not brought to the mill. Of course, that is really dependent on the farmer and what they do, but the content of this material, and Fusarium is a disease that's in the soil and enters the plant if it has lesions or through the roots, and it starts rotting from the inside. So if you see a cane field, the cane looks fine, maybe some yellow leaves, but what is happening is that it's rotting from the inside. And so it's decomposing, fermenting, and by the time that reaches to the mill, you basically have just dried material to work with and little sugar content. That's going to be tough for grinding, is going to be tough for sugar extraction, and of course for everyone, because at the end of the day we don't get the sugar, and so you can't value that. The other issue is the stem borers that we continuously not treat, and so those are sort of pathogens. They make the holes on the plant, and that's where the disease can enter. So if we are not able to control that, then that will extend to the entire 68,000 acres of sugarcane field. Corozal has the most area affected, and Orange Walk really needs to put in the measures to protect their cane. And what is required, sanitization of equipment. Right now that we are going to be harvesting, the harvesting group leaders need to sanitize their truck, the tires, their machetes when moving from one field to the other, because otherwise they will be taking the fungus from one field to the other, and when you know, the entire sugar area has been affected. So it is critical that farmers start to make the transformation practices that are required. For example, we do have the different projects. It will be important that farmers take advantage of the 5 Cs funded by Green Climate Fund project, which is building adaptive capacity of sugarcane farmers. This project is one that we at BSI led in the development along with 5 Cs, and took 5 years to get approval. And so they have $50 million now to access, and the key objective here is to transform the sugarcane fields, do varieties that are early maturing, varieties that are diversified, do the pest management practices, do the soil care practices, soil health. Our soils are so depleted, it's a monoculture, so you keep working this land and not resting it. It will be important to do the practices for soil health, to make that soil come back and be able to produce, because that is really what's happening. Our soils are deteriorated. The other key project that farmers need to ensure that they access is the CRESUP project from being funded by the World Bank. And so if the farmers need assistance, need information, it is important for them to contact their associations, contact BSI, contact CIRDE, who are in these meetings and are able to bring the information to them so that they're able to access these projects.
The increase of diseases affecting the industry, as well as the expected drop in cane quality this year, according to Aviles, underscores the need for individual quality testing to ensure that every farmer can reap their benefits individually and based on value.
Of course, individual cane quality testing will encourage farmers to do better. Those farmers that are currently doing good practices are not compensated really for what they are doing. It is shared among everyone that delivers the cane in test groups. We do have a middle ground there where you test by groups, and so each group gets a different payment. But we need to get down to the individual testing because that will really incentivize the farmer that are doing good practices to develop and improve. Whilst the current system is encouraging the opposite, where you are shared so you don't care, you do the practices. And this year, more than any year, we're going to need to really enforce those practices. And what are they? They are very basic, really. Burning is a key element to managing the cane quality. It takes about 24 hours for that cane to start to deteriorate. So if you burn that cane way in advance of the time you should deliver, your cane already is starting to deteriorate following that 24 hours. So these are key things that farmers know. The farmer knows this. We have to be able to work with them, and they have to put into practice the recommendations that are being given. The other key important one is to bundle cane, to cut it, bundle it, and don't use the push piler, because the push piler brings in mud into the bundles, and mud, nobody needs mud. Nobody wants mud. We shouldn't be paying for mud here, and in this case we are paying for mud because that is not a factor that is taken out of the cane quality parameters. So it is key that the farmers are able to cooperate with us and make the transformations that are being recommended and are required for the industry. Otherwise, we're all going down.
And there's more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Santa baby, just set a bottle under the tree for me. Make it coconut, please. Santa baby, sip some Caribbean rum tonight. Santa baby, a bottle of cold rum would do so smooth. I'll leave one out for you, Santa baby. Sip some Caribbean rum tonight. So sip some Caribbean rum tonight. Sip some Caribbean rum tonight. Merry and bright.
Legendary Belizean musician Francisco Alcacer passed away on Boxing Day at the age of 61 after battling cancer for several months. He died in his home here in Orange Walk Town, leaving a significant impact on the music industry. Mr. Pancho, as he was more affectionately known in Orange Walk and the rest of the country, was known for his work to promote local music with his band Super Furia, which he founded along with his children. Alcacer's music career with Super Furia and previously with Lucio and the New Generation spanned decades, and he worked on a variety of notable projects, including producing and performing several local favorites, which he played lovingly with his band. Today, his family remember him for his many contributions to music in Belize, but also as a dedicated father and family man whose legacy will live on through music.
He started the music and the passion for music from before he was even born, you know. Music was always in his bloodstream. I believe his grandparents used to play at the church choirs and etc. So that's how he got really inspired. And then his brother had a band which he played in, and Lucy and the New Generation. And so ever since he just says, you know what, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And from high school, I believe he was in the age of 12, he started doing music, and you know, that's how he will always be remembered as he always said music is life, you know. And so he formed Super Furia Band over 38 plus years, right, Veronica?
Right.
So, you know, and so we pretty much grew up in the music industry. Music practices was part of my playground background, you know. When they were practicing rehearsals every Mondays and Thursdays, when the band is doing rehearsal, I'm right around there. We're all, as children, you know, growing up with playing the drums or playing the keyboard or doing something. So that was our playground. So, and my father always knew that he wanted his children to learn the music and love the music as much as he did, no? So we perform for different events, you know. Super Furia Band, when every mega event here in Belize, Super Furia is right there. And my dad has always been excited when we are doing a performance, you know. He always says, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and been setting up from Thursday. He's already packing the bus, making sure everything is being loaded, docked. And so he's always been passionate about, you know, music. And so we also not only did it for big events, we did it for non-profitable events as well. So we did for Cancer Association, Kidney Association. We also, Super Furia Band, maybe it was not in the media as much, but we played for a Christian concert. So we had to learn like a whole set of 5 or 30 minutes of Christian songs. And because my dad is always a believer, you know, so he knows that God comes first, and because of the Almighty One, that's why he always thank God for what he has, you know, and the blessings that he got from through the music, and God is the one that started all the blessings.
Mr. Pancho was the band's manager and ensured that every gig went smoothly. However, he was also its keyboardist and teacher to many of the band members.
Well, he loves the keyboard, you know, so that is his instrument. He loves the keyboard. And so when, because Super Furia consists mainly of family members, no? And automatically when you join Super Furia Band, you are automatically come to our family.
Yes.
So
you join the table of the family.
Yes, and especially because if you know a little bit about the music life, is that, you know, you travel together, you sleep together, you're with each other together. So, and you are with each other for special events, Christmas events, New Year's, Thanksgiving, and Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter. So every event you are together. And apart from being just the keyboardist, he was also a songwriter. Yes. So most of the songs, like, you know, he came together for the Donkey Wan Wata. He have September celebration songs, which Super Furia Band won Battle of the Bands and so forth. September 21st song. So
The Sweetheart
the
Pass.
Sweetheart Pass, which came across COVID time.
Yes.
He always got inspired and vividly remembering that I would be sound asleep at 3 a.m. because that's when he get inspired. And if he thinks about a song at 3 a.m., he's gonna get up. He always have a keyboard right out of in the living room. So because he likes to keep his fingers practicing and I gotta say that even though he was sick and he didn't had enough energy, he still kept playing. He still kept until his fingers slowly started to lose strength and so forth. But he still found happiness just seeing his children and family continuing his legacy that he has set a bar like way up high. So it makes us even harder for us to try to keep up to him. But
Mr. Pancho's battle with cancer started earlier this year as he was diagnosed with colon cancer. Despite his gloomy diagnosis, his family say he fought to the end and every step of the way held on to his love for music.
Well, it started in summer in July, and he complained about a back pain, and then so they said the doctor said it's kidney stones, and then they did further more research, and until they found out that he has colon cancer, So he started a couple treatments in Mexico, and but I mean, anyone that's going through cancer, they are true warriors because it's nothing easy. After those treatments, they feel ill, and they're not themselves anymore. But I must say that because my father always put God first, I think that's what gave him the strength that he needs. So every time after chemo, he's smiling. He's like, still listening to his music and even
ensuring that the job
get done. He's still managing through his phone. He was still the contact person to make all those arrangements and calls. So he just kept going, and I think it's what the music is all about, And that's why we even did a raise fund for him, a big concert. It's music fight cancer. And he stood there and watched the whole show, in his bed. But he just enjoys seeing all the musicians and everything because he says music goes a long way and music is life. And that's
In honor of his great musical career and to celebrate his life accomplishments, Super Furia Band is planning a mega concert event on Sunday, and they're inviting all local artists to join in.
Okay, so this Sunday, right here in Orange Walk, number 2 Santa Familia Street, we'll be hosting a celebration victory for my dad because he has won a spot there in heaven, so he is a true champ. So it's going to be starting this Sunday. We are inviting all Belizean bands and musicians to come. We're going to have a mega stage because we got to do it big, the way he wants it. And
Belizean music because if I may add, Roxy, for Christmas Day, we were here the day before he died. We were, speaking to him and we were listening to some cumbia because my mother-in-law, she wanted, say, it's Christmas, let's have a little celebration in the living room. And he called us, he said, what are you guys listening? I want Belizean music. And all of us were like, okay, put on the Belizean music. Okay, so right there he was happy.
Funeral services for Mr. Pancho are scheduled for Monday, December 30th at the La Inmaculada Catholic Church at 2 p.m. Today, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Science, and Technology and its line agencies also convey heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones of Alcacer Sr. Mr. Alcacer, founder of the Super Furia Band, was a talented and passionate musician and cultural icon whose dedication and artistry significantly enriched Belize's musical heritage. His legacy lives on through the melodies and rhythms that have brought joy to countless Belizeans and beyond, said the ministry. As women navigate the intricacies of their hormonal life stages encompassing menstruation, childbearing, breastfeeding, and ultimately menopause, they often face heightened risks of nutritional deficiencies. These deficiencies can lead to serious health issues, including anemia, osteoporosis, and a lack of essential vitamins and minerals. While menopause marks the final hormonal shift in a woman's life, men experience their own hormonal changes, known as andropause, making the discussion of these transitions relevant for both genders. Dr. Marvin Manzanero, a bioethicist and internist, explains that understanding these periods is crucial for both genders to better cope with the accompanying physical and emotional changes.
The topic of andropause, it depends on what literature you want to review, because some people will tell you that that's really non-existent, that is perhaps a misnomer in that it should not really be called that, because it's not a medical term that you necessarily see up at the forefront of situations we review. And even to make the comparison with menopause in women, some literature will tell you shouldn't make that comparison, because the term pause in there means that it has paused. It has completed its cycle, as it happens with women. You know, women who go through menopause, they stop menstruating, and the ovarian function in terms of estrogen production is gone. And all women will go through that, right? And it's usually a set point in time in a woman's life. In the case of andropause, and that's the reason why some people don't want to classify it as that, it's not really a set point in time where all men on average will go through a complete pause, right? So not all men will go through that phase, but what I can tell you, and that's perhaps where we need to start to have that discussion, is that as we age, and that's why some people don't want to call it, because it's part of the aging process, our testosterone level, which is the principal driver of many mechanisms in our body as a male, will gradually decline with age, right? So some people will start as early as age 35, but on average after age 50, you're gonna have a 1 to 2% decline in your average testosterone level. Now, there are factors that will precipitate that fall. There are factors that can allow you to survive longer, if you will, without having that drop. Some of it is environmental, some of it is genetic, some of it is inherent to every single male. And even when you have the drop, not all males will go through all the symptoms that most females will have when they have menopause, for example. But you are right in that, because we don't know, you can have a lot of men who are having all these kinds of signs and symptoms, and they are not aware. And again, you're told, man up, you can be dealing with these signs and symptoms of depression, mood swings. But as our testosterone level declines, there will be physical, psychological, and sexual changes that are bound to happen.
While many wonder if medication exists to ease the transitions of these life stages, Dr. Manzanero cautions against oversimplification.
That's a situation that I think is interesting, because even with females, for example, in the case of menopause, you will have to decide whether you do hormone replacement therapy or you manage the symptoms.
The doctor emphasizes the importance of consulting a healthcare professional during these times. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, December 30th, here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3blazenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3blazenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.